Hello and welcome to the Entrepreneur's Journey. I'm Andy Bryan, and today I'm here with Shonda Days to talk about her psychic journey to discovery. Now, I've known Shonda for a while now. Been talking about many different areas of psychic ability and what's really possible in our mind and spirituality as a whole. And I think it's incredible. It's been really interesting to find out about her story, where she's come from, and where she's looking to go and what she's doing now. So if you're tuning in for the first time, I'm just going to give you a brief insight as to what the show's all about, as I always do, because we always get a few new listeners. So the show is all about helping people uncover their story and journey to success, so to speak. So we look back, way back at their past and all the way through to where they are today. We look at some of the trials and tribulations that they've come across and really why they're doing what they're doing today and how they're giving back to the world. Today we have Shonda Days, as I said, talking about her psychic journey discovery. Welcome, Shonda. Tell me a bit more about yourself before we get started.
Hi, how are you? How is everyone? Well, I am a certified psychic medium and a third-degree white witch. I have 6 years psychology education, so it kind of sets me apart from maybe some others because I'm highly educated and I have gifts too.
So how do you work with people then at the moment in terms of your psychic work?
Right now, I work on a random. I work on Keen. I run my own personal business, Psychic Echo Sunrise. I donate a lot of time to working on like missing children's cases. I predicted one body this year, and I've donated my time to two missing children's cases this year, and did really, really good with the work that I did do.
Okay, don't go into that too much just yet, because we're going to jump into that a bit later, aren't we, as well? So that's cool. No, that's fantastic. So let's look at your journey now from where you first started. Thinking about your psychic gifts, where did you find you first had these gifts? Or when did you first come across them?
Okay, when I was around 3-ish, my very first memories when I was younger, I can remember astral travel, which is leaving your body. And I would leave my body and I would fly over the trees in my backyard. And over and over again, when I would do this, I would have a falling sensation. And it would feel like I would fall, and it was never going to end. And I didn't realize until later in life that that was actually when you fall back into your body when you're astral traveling. So I was astral traveling very young. Very young.
Okay, excellent. So you knew you had those gifts when you were young, or was that something you were coming to terms with at that very young age?
Well, I remember being kind of scared a little bit of not the flying itself, but the falling back in the body stage. And then there was always spirits in my room and stuff when I was younger. But then it went away, for a while until I was in my 30s. And then that's when it really hit me and impacted my life that I had humongous gifts. Big gifts. Really big gifts.
So if we look at your childhood and what you went through as a child, I know you went through some traumas as a child. Tell us about some of the traumas and experiences that you went through as you started to reconnect with your gifts, like up until the age of 30.
Like all the way up to kind of 30. Is that what you said?
Well, just some of the challenges that you faced from a young age initially.
Well, sometimes psychics, they go through a lot of things. So maybe it's not so abnormal that I went through all this stuff. But when I was young, when I was 3-ish, I was dealt with my grandfather's death. And then my mother was a severe addict. And I suffered abandonment. Sexual abuse, abandonment again. And then around 14 is, I've been taking care of myself since then. I got married and had kids, and then it wasn't until I separated from my husband and started to go through the divorce where spirit actually came to me, and it was in a big way.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, I had a lot of things going on when I was young. They went away, and then right before like things hit the fan as an adult in my divorce, spirit came back in a big way, a huge way. You couldn't deny it at this point by what spirit was doing to me, that they were all there.
Yeah. So if we look at would you say your childhood experiences shaped who you are at the moment in terms of bringing back that connection with spirit?
Yeah, I feel like the education that I got, the 10 years of education with the gifts that I have, all together. The psychology education of 6 years, I understand people's problems in an educational form. But when it comes to the things that I've went through myself, I understand it as a person, and how it feels for a person to go through all this stuff. And then when spirit's coming and talking to me, now I understand more on a soul's journey. It's not simply this life. It's just, it's more bigger than that, and we're just here, trying to get better in each life. It gets pretty deep.
Yeah. So what were your experiences like connecting with spirit at that time? Even, let's say first of all, from that young age up until, say, 14, and then we'll look at later on in life as you reconnected with those spirits.
Okay. You want to know what'd you say?
Just what was the feeling like, and how was it connecting with the spirits at that age, like from that young age up until 14?
The astral travel and stuff, I only really did before things like really got bad in my life when I was a young child. Things got bad pretty quick. I suffered a couple quick deaths. I was going to be adopted, and my uncle never came back the weekend before he was supposed to adopt me. I went through a lot of things, and maybe I couldn't handle spirit and what I was going through at that time. Like, I went through a lot of horrible things. So
that was your disconnection from where you are. That was your disconnection up until 30 then, would you say?
Well, yeah, because my mind was always, when your mind's always going in circles, or you're always thinking about something over and over and over, you're not in present moment. So that's why sometimes if a child goes to school and there's a lot of things going on at home, they're not going to learn at school because it's all going on in their head. So yeah, I had so much going on that I couldn't be in present moment as a child, if that makes more sense.
Yeah. So coming back to 30 years old then, and you had the divorce from your husband, what was the experience like connecting with spirit then? Because you'd obviously connected from a very young age, but then you reconnected, and
yeah,
I know from me, you told me that it was such an overwhelming experience at that time. So what was it that you were going through?
Well, I was getting ready to move back from Illinois to California to start my custody battle and divorce. And once I got there, well, spirit came to me October 30th, 2008, and I got on a plane November 27th and was in California ready to do the legal things I needed to do to get my divorce. About 6 months later, I got the divorce, and I had been working with spirit this whole time. 3 months prior to the finalization, I had a vision. It was one of my very first visions I was getting from spirit in this forms like you just can't ignore. And it was a vision of Yosemite Sam pointing a gun and kind of chuckling. And I said to, like my sister, who is my guardian angels, real sister, who I actually moved into. My very first spirit was Ladybugs, and her name was Bug. I said, you know, Bug, I just had a vision of Yosemite Sam smiling and shooting a gun. Is my son going to get shot? Is one of my kids going to get shot? She said, oh no, that was Shauna and Stacy's thing on the wall, Yosemite Sam. So I said, oh, okay. Well, 4 days after, this was in March, 4 days after my divorce in July, my husband had 5 men chase my son down and shoot him 5 times. So the very first things that spirit was, my very first sign was the connection to me and the sister. The second sign was preparing me for what was about to change me and my family's lives. So at that point, there was no holding spirit back. The floodgates were open. It was one right after another. I literally worked with about 300 spirits for free, giving, oh my gosh, the spirit's here, and I'd freak out trying to tell people stuff. And for about a couple years, and I got really, really sick. The stress from my son, who is alive and doing well, getting shot, and then the toll on my body from working with spirit up close and personal, like to the level of all the time they're around me, drained me really bad, and I had to take some time off. But when I came back and got to the business, and I started on a random, I pretty made a name for myself overnight. Like a random turned my career really big overnight.
Yeah, that's incredible. And it's obviously sad to hear about your son.
Yeah.
But obviously the good news is that he's obviously healthy and well now. So obviously going through that trauma and experience, it's good to see he is fit and healthy at this moment.
Yeah.
But I know you spoke about your cases earlier.
Yeah.
And finding information about two missing children. Tell us about what happened there, and obviously you connected with spirit in order to uncover these children and discover that they were missing.
Well, yeah, so I've been a mama bear. I've really protected my children. They've meant everything to me in the world. And the people that really shot my son, you know, like, I protected my kid, and I chased them all down, all 5 of them myself afterwards. I believe that spirit watched me love my children more than anything. And over the last year, the very first missing child that came to me out of nowhere, because once your floodgates are open, even if you turn them off, maybe selective spirits will come through. A missing child named Trudy Appleby came to me. Trudy Appleby came to me last September, and she has been a local missing child of 20 years. So I told the police that I felt more comfortable just taking down notes and then letting them know what came up. And that's how I would start that part of donating my time, because that's about the only place I donate my time now is for like missing people cases. And the very first channeling I did, she came to me in September. I told the police I was going to officially channel her October 1st, or 2nd last year. And I channeled her on October 12th. Her mother got hit and killed by a car. And a lot of times spirit is really stronger when somebody is about to pass or a birthday comes. And I think that Trudy latched on to me when she was coming to help her mom cross over. And I had previously already had let the police know that Trudy Appleby's spirit was with me. So when her mom died, they knew that, well, hey, you know, after 20 years, this psychic pops up and says, this missing child's with me. You know, after her mom got hit by a car, from her Facebook page, I met family members of her. And I did more channelings for her stepmother, for her best friend at the time when she was taken. And me and her best friend have become friends now. Then I went on, because I'm becoming a pretty worldwide, pretty big famous psychic on a random at this point, and my opportunities are growing for me. I'm officially channeling her, scheduling, because it can be pretty sad. This lady asked me to look into a missing woman. Well, I start to see the visions from the eyes and from feeling everything from body. I currently had a billboard on the water for the missing child, because everything that this child showed me, she had a missing, her fate was on this water. So I had a billboard on that water just for my tribute to her, the work that I've done with her. And I started having these visions of this body in the water. And it was not so far down from my billboard that I predicted this body in the water. I predicted everything right about the body besides the gender, because I thought it was a woman, since somebody asked me to look into the woman. But the visions, I started seeing everything from body and feeling it from body. So it was a man that showed up a few days later, about 3 days after I predicted the person being in the water. And at that point I said, I bet you that person is alive. And it ended up being that person, that woman that I checked into, ended up being alive in Florida. And that was in June of this year. And then in July, Baby Doe came to me. Her name was Baby Doe at the time. She later became, her identity later, it was Bella Bonds from Boston. She was the Baby Doe at first. And I did a channeling of her July 28th, and I gave it to the police that I had been giving the missing children channelings to, and the prediction of the body. I gave them the channeling of Bella. And when they identified her in August, everything was right on there. I was 99.999% accurate. And the body was something that the police could see right away, that I predicted everything right. But the gender was off, but everything else was right. There was really a body in the water. Now with Bella, the next month, you know, they could see that I described her death. I described the person driving her. I described the roads that they took to get her to the island. I let them know in the beginning when I channeled her, she was not, she did not wash up on the shore. She was dropped off. So sometimes these cases can be hard for me, but in my career, I really want to move into psychic investigations with children. I would like to be really, really good in that area. But that's not all. I like to do mediumship work. I like to do tarot readings. I like to help people go through really, really hard periods of time. You know, I know how it feels when I know how it feels when you can't wake up and get out of bed because life hasn't been good for several years in a row. So I often get clients like that, and because I have so much education on top of things that I've lived through, I really, really can help my clients. Well, I'm a life coach, I'm a love specialist, like I do everything.
Let me ask about those feelings then. So once you connected with Trudy,
yes,
and Bella Bonds as well, you could feel exactly what they were going through. So you could feel the drowning sensation. You could feel the whole sensations of the body as you connected with spirit at this time.
Yeah, I'm not in control over what I feel. You know, I just have to kind of let it come through and jot down as it does. But I can feel things. One of the cases I worked on, I really feel like there was a hit in the back of the head. I could feel the hit in the head. I can feel them being strangled sometimes. I actually had to take a month off of work when I predicted the body, because the body was so fresh that it absorbed into my nose and into my ears and into my whole system, that I got the worst sinus infection in June. Okay, in the summer here, in the summer, I got the worst sinus infection for about 4 to 6 weeks. I mean, this work makes me sick sometimes. That's why now I take more care of myself, and I only donate my time when it comes to like certain cases to help that and to help my career, you know, because there is a lot of energy that people wouldn't normally.
Yeah, it takes a toll on your body, doesn't it? You know?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And then to see these precious children go through these sad things. Yeah.
So let's look at what you do now.
Okay.
How would you describe yourself as who you are now in terms of the experiences you've gone through and what you've been able to create in your life today?
Well, when I had a lot of children at the house, of course, when I was younger, when children go through things, their self-esteem isn't good. You got to do what you can to get your kids shoes, to get them clothes, to build up their self-esteem, because later on in life, they're just, you know, you got to give your kids a fair chance at life. I just really need to get that in. And so when, you know, you fast forward, I was married, I have 5 kids, you know, there's not a whole lot really I can do. Plus, I have spinal issues. I've had 4 shoulder surgeries. The only thing I could do was get an education. If you can't, or you don't know where your abilities are, where your passions are, what your gifts are in life, just go to school. Go to school.
Yeah. Because
education is the difference between night and day. It's the difference between black and white. Now, do I think that I would be as a successful psychic as I am now if I didn't have that education behind me? Absolutely not. You know, I have a lot of education that really helps me reach out to people. But not to mention, when clients come to me and they said, hey, I was raped, or hey, you know, I'm going through this domestic violence situation and it's really bad, I can say, hey, I understand you. Let me not only predict your future, but let me help you along the way to get you stable again. And so, yeah, I don't know, did I answer your question? I have a lot of anxiety because of me being a psychic.
That's fine. I think you did answer that perfectly.
Okay.
So how do you usually work with people today in terms of your psychic work, your intuition? Is it on a one-to-one basis, or obviously with cases you have a lot of people involved, I imagine, with the larger cases?
Okay, so when it comes to mainly I'm a TV psychic on a random or on Skype, or you know, or I do chat lines, or I do run my own business. But a lot of times I'm just working where whoever needs a reading that day. I sign on, I get up at 4 or 5 a.m. my time, and I work till 10 p.m. Most of the time it's one-on-one. A lot of times I work mainly over the internet, but I will meet people, you know, and I do. And as far as the cases go, I don't ask no questions. It's not in my, right now, it's not my purpose to ask questions. Am I valid? Am I not valid? You know, no.
Yeah. My
purpose right now is just to show them and prove to them over and over and over my abilities. Once I do that, and they see over and over and over how good I am. In the future, in major cases, when people have missing children and there's major things going on, I will be a value. Now, before, when I was raising kids and I couldn't put shoes on their feet because obviously my ex-husband had some issues, I didn't feel valuable at all. Now I feel very, very valuable with my education and with my gifts. And even though I'm not being paid for these cases that I have donated to with the missing children, I feel very honored that these children have come with me. They stick with me. They help me. These children stick with me. Their spirits help me deliver accurate psychic readings. Trudy Appleby asked me to be my guardian angel 6 months into working with me. I said, oh, yes, girl. Yeah. That's what I told them. That's how I talk to the spirits. You just got to talk to them like you would talk to anyone. And everyone has gifts. You just got to do it. Education is first, though. Education will help guide you anywhere you want to go.
So why do you particularly like working on the childhood cases, let's say?
I knew that the children came to me for a reason. So to me it's just, what's today, Thursday? To me it's just Thursday, right? But a lot of times people are not going to meet people that missing children come to when they are passed away, to share their story, to have you help them, to connect with you. So I feel honored. I feel like God gave me this gift. I wear the Virgin Mary's heart across my back. So even though I'm a medium, I'm still a Christian. I just don't believe that part what they say about mediums in the Bible. So, yeah.
And where can we find out more about yourself and your work then? If we wanted to have a look at your website, find out more about what you do, and maybe look at your services.
Yeah, you would want to reach me first at psychicechosunrise.com. Psychic Echo Sunrise. The reason why my name is Echo Sunrise is because anytime a problem comes up, you have to rise above it, right? The sunrise or sunset is beautiful, but if you're rising, you're always rising above your problems. And if you're echoing it, you're going to continue to rise above your problems always. So that was my thinking when I named myself that as my full career. And I really hope, now I've done 2 missing children in one body in the last 1 year, and this is when my career has really took a big change in my life. Now this next year, I hope I do 3 bodies and 5 children. Well, I hope so. I want to add some more good work to that, so that way I can do even amazing things that a lot of people can't do. So somebody has to do it. Why not me?
Definitely. And
somebody has to do it. Why not me? I will do it. Yeah, I find it pretty interesting. I like it.
I mean,
I really want to go into that area a lot more.
I'd imagine when you uncover these missing children and you work with these cases that you, in some ways, feel fulfilled because you bring comfort to people's life. I mean, it's obviously extremely sad cases that children have to go through these traumatic events, but to have this fulfillment afterwards.
I've been in the hospital crying before working with them because I have to see things that they've been through. I can get sad, but when I hear that I was accurate, I see more of the bigger picture of where my career is going. Holy cow, if I can do this in 1 year of my major, well, it's been, a year and a little over, a year and a couple months working with Trudy. But I didn't become this worldwide reader not even until January, until December 23rd. So I feel like I'm really happy with the progress.
There was a question in the audience, and it was by Tricep Bra, and it says, "Are people born with these abilities? Would you say they're born with these abilities?"
I believe so. Yes, I was like I astral traveled, and I always had spirits in my room when I was little, and I do believe so. I believe that everybody is born with it, and then sometimes religion will pull you from it, or traumatic events. Traumatic events can either increase spiritual communication or decrease it depending on where your mind frame's at. So like as a child it decreased it, but as an adult, when I went to go through my second round of just like the worst things ever, it increased it. So as a child it decreased it, but as an adult it increased it. So sometimes depending on your mind frame, like
I know we've gone through the journey as well. Would you also say that people can develop these skills?
Yes, education is key. So I have 6 years psychology education, but I have 3 more years in being certified to be a certified psychic medium, tarot schools, white magic witchcraft. I have done spells for missing children and sent pictures of it to the police too. Like, so there's nothing that I'm doing that is, everything that I'm doing with my full heart to the best of my abilities to everyone. It's not something that I'm hiding from somebody down the street. It's something, this is who I am. This is what I want to do. So 3 years of witchcraft school, I can cast the best spells in a truly good way for the well-being of anyone. So working with me, you don't have to worry about bad karma or anything that people may worry about working with psychics. Not this one. This is a really honest, genuine person who has gifts. Not this one. Yeah. I would say beware sometimes, but not always. There are real psychics out there.
Okay, there was another question then. Is there any legitimacy to tarot card readings? And I would ask you with this question as well, how do tarot card readings work, and you know, what do you get from them?
I use tarot cards, and the reason why I use tarot cards is, hey, I'm a certified psychic medium. This is my certificate.
Yeah.
Okay, but not only do I have angelic messages coming to me where I'm seeing, feeling, hearing, all of that, but I like to use cards. If somebody comes to me with a love issue, I don't want to sit here and have to make sure that I'm drowning out what Spirit's telling me. Now, I'm one of the best tarot readers in the world, and I'm going to tell you why right now. And this is the truth. All you have to do is Google my name. And I made this name in 1 year for myself. This is my love deck. If somebody comes to me with love issues, I'm shuffling this deck. I'm also shuffling this deck. This is my, oh, sorry. There it is. This is my general deck, but it's also my love deck too. I can find love, career, mental state of mind, what's going on with someone. I can do a full reading with these two and give you a reading in 4 minutes. My reading will take 4 minutes. That will take 30 minutes from another psychic, because maybe their style's different.
So let me ask about this. Let me ask about that then. So you can tap in. You can tap into the feelings behind what's going on in terms of whatever situation it might be. Mm-hmm. In terms of the cards.
My cards are never wrong.
In terms of,
see, the thing is it's all spirit guided. So if it's all spirit guided, then your cards are going to be accurate every single time. And me, I'm very serious about what I do. I get into it, okay? I don't look at the card and say, oh, it's peaches, it's going to smell nice today. No, I get into it. I write the meanings down on each card, so if I'm in a live reading, I know exactly every single thing that could pertain to someone. And most time it's everything is accurate, but I can go through each one. And I'll know. So if I'm doing this to find out mentally what's going on with you or your partner, if you guys are reasons why one of you guys might be withdrawn, you know, in this one, I'm getting your love in this. And also a lot of times when it comes to love issues, we are dealing with twin flames or soulmates, which are past lives. And I am a past life expert too. And again, I always have the meanings of everything written on my cards, because that just makes me a better reader. It doesn't matter if I know these cards for 20 years. There might be different points I might forget that may be very, very valid for a client. And that's one of the reasons why I became such a big worldwide famous reader overnight, is because I am one of the best tarot readers ever too. Because I use all my gifts to the best of my abilities to give the best readings.
I know. I'd imagine now. Obviously, the descriptions on your cards will help you get that accuracy, because obviously you can give the full meanings behind them. But
well, they don't always go for everybody.
For
like Spirit would have to make sure I get certain cards to validate certain things in people's lives. So it's very Spirit drawn too. The way I do it.
But yeah, what I was going to ask was, often speak to different people, and often they say the cards are very much guidance in some ways or form.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it's your connection with the spirit itself that allows you to bring in more information. So it's a mixture of the two, would you say? It's not just what you receive, although that's fantastic. It's a mixture of two things together, would you say?
And you're kind of cutting up right now. Were you asking me if I liked using the cards or mediumship better, or what was the question?
Oh no! I was just saying that the cards provide you with somewhat of a guidance,
mm-hmm.
but also your connection with spirit gives that other bit of guidance to bring it all together.
Yeah, it's I don't have to use as much energy in tarot readings as I do when I'm channeling. When I'm directly working with people that have passed on, there's a lot more energy involved when you're working with spirits directly, and there's energies. You're in one, I believe it's dimension, and they're in another one, and your energies are crossing. I prefer tarot readings because that way everything's more mild on my body to deliver accurate information. Now, I'm accurate. I've predicted things for a year now. I've had clients on a random for 1 year where I have predicted every single thing in their life that's happened. And let me tell you, they did not believe it neither. They did not believe it, and I would call them on it every time. I would say, you don't believe me, but that's fine. And within a few days it would happen. So I have clients now on a random that I've predicted every single thing that's happened in their life for 1 year straight now. They're still my client.
Fantastic. And I know that's kind of the end of the show.
Excuse.
So, where can we find out about your website again, to find out more information about you?
Okay, everyone, please get a hold of me. You can look me up at Psychic Echo Sunrise, psychicechosunrise.com. Okay, oh, that's excellent. So cute. That's so cute. I'm sorry, I see the little bubbles. I said, oh, that's so cute. Okay, so psychicechosunrise.com. I have a Facebook. My full business name is Psychic Echo Sunrise, the Sunrise Goddess. The Sunrise Goddess, I cast a lot of spells on that page. That would be a Facebook page, the Sunrise Goddess. I also have a Psychic Echo Sunrise page. And I also have psychicechosunrise.com to purchase Skype readings from me, or phone readings, or email readings, or spell work.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you again for coming on the show.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
If you want to find out more about Shonda, you can obviously visit her website. And I do look forward to seeing you again soon. You've been listening to the Entrepreneur's Journey. We're live every Thursday at 8 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, which is UK time, which is 3 p.m. Eastern time if you are in the States. So thanks again for listening in.
The Entrepreneur's Journey. Create your empowering business story. Interviewing successful entrepreneurs from around the world to share their inspiring journey to success. Tune in live every week for your weekly dose of inspiration. Visit www.theentrepreneurjourney.tv for previous episodes.